Today on Warrior Update, Waubonsee is a zoo, Mr. WVHS is crowned, and we highlight Respect Week. Jazz Ensemble performed to open a month of music. Ryan Calkins has more.
Waubonsee Valley kicked off Music in Our Schools Month with the Winter Jazz Concert last week. Big band, jazz combo, and jazz ensemble all performed in the auditorium. For some musicians, their love of jazz began in middle school or even sooner.
For my 5th birthday, I got my first drum set. There was a guy that my family knew, and he heard that I like to bang on the couch, and so he just donated one of his old practice sets, and I still use that one today.
It was really great to start learning the fundamentals of jazz because we begin by learning just the basics, like the blues scale, and then there's different chords for each part of the scale. So that's where I started to learn jazz.
In addition to ensemble, a small group of students have the opportunity to lead and grow through a jazz combo.
Everyone has their own input on whatever we are doing because there's no teachers, so we all kind of work together to put it together, the pieces that we're doing, and we have to go pretty quickly since we have so many different songs to learn for all of the gigs that we do.
In a big band setting, I gotta stay strict on the time and play my little fills, but I can kind of get more free and have some more creative expression, but while still supporting the soloist. It's really fun to arrange our own songs and get to work on our own.
It's really cool because we each get a chance to solo and be featured.
It's a lot of responsibility. A lot of us, we have to either arrange our own parts or find music. We have to lead our own rehearsals. We kind of need to teach ourselves how to do that. But it's good, we all push ourselves to become better soloists. I'd say that's the biggest part of combo.
I enjoy getting to play different music from just normal concert band music because in jazz, there's so many different styles that we play, and getting to diversify myself as a musician has been really great.
I'd say at a concert, everyone is just glued to you, but at a gig or something, you're contributing to the overall environment of that place. Their moods can be dictated by the music.
A lot of other schools, they're not fortunate enough to have a director like we have or the talent that we have in District 204, and it's really special to just make music with all my friends.
For Warrior Update, I'm Ryan Calkins.
It's a zoo inside of Waubonsee. Reese Rodriguez has more.
Did you know that Waubonsee Valley High School has its very own zoo in room 271? Operated by science teacher Jim Nielsen, Waubonsee Valley High School Zoo started in 2005. It has now grown to over 10 animals, all of which have been captive raised and none have been taken out of the wild. Nielsen has always been interested in wildlife and the natural world. He has a bachelor's degree in animal science but originally went to school to become a vet.
I've loved nature since I was a little kid. I've always been interested in the natural world and getting out and working with animals. I knew I wanted to work with animals my whole life. That's why my degree is in animal science from University of Illinois.
Nielsen worked at Brookfield Zoo before becoming a teacher. He concentrated on animal nutrition, where he prepared diets for every animal in the park.
I always knew I wanted to work with animals, and really the reason that I became a teacher was because I wanted to share my passion for the natural world with the next generation.
The animals are never handled by students, but are always utilized in the curriculum through research projects, labs, and daily conservation.
They do make it into a couple of our lab experiences. They get to observe them during labs, take notes, things like that. They do reports on them.
Students are exposed to species that they would otherwise never experience, as the zoo has animals that are endemic to Australia, Vietnam, Brazil, Mexico, Yemen, and Pakistan.
I'm kind of limited to what I can do inside these 4 walls to share my passion about the natural world. So bringing pets into the classroom allows kids to kind of get that experience every single day.
For Warrior Update, I'm Reese Rodriguez.
Youth in Government is working with the local state representative. Sohail Lande reports.
Youth in Government had a mock legislative event at Mattia Valley High School last month to help prepare for its trip to the state capitol in March. Illinois State Representative Janet Yang Rohr was present to help guide the young student legislators. Representative Rohr has helped pass a bill that many students may recognize.
One of the bills that I'm most proud of is called the Beyond Charity Law. And basically what it does is it requires public schools from about junior high all the way to public colleges and universities to print on the back of your student ID the national and local suicide prevention hotline numbers. And what we're really trying to do is make sure that students have those tools, those resources right at their fingertips, and hopefully take away stigma around asking for help, especially when it comes to their mental health.
Civic engagement is very important among the youth in today's day and age. Waubonsie Youth in Government provides students with unique opportunities to get involved in real-world government experience, an idea Representative Rohr fully supports.
You know, people say that youth are our leaders, are our future leaders, but I think they are our leaders now. And so when we get students, when we get young people involved, what we do is really I think you get people excited to be involved in the process. And so, you know, I'm so proud to have an internship program that has brought high school students, college students together to work in our office and to fan out into the community and really make sure that we're serving the community. We could not have the reach and I think the effect that we do without them.
Waubonsie Youth in Government will go to Springfield March 18th through the 20th for their mock state legislative assembly. For Warrior Update, I'm Sohail Londe.
Teacher name pronunciations are hard, spelling them is even harder. Warrior Update puts you to the test.
Spell Mr. Schmickel's last name.
Mr. Schmickel?
Yeah.
S-C-H-M-E-I-K-E-L.
Mr. Wishway's last name.
Wishway?
Wishway.
Wishway?
Yeah.
W-I-S-H-W-A-Y.
Close. Cipriani's last name.
Oh. C-I-P-R-I-A-N-I.
Yeah. Spell Miss Faye's last name.
F-A-E? No, F-A-Y-E.
No, there's no E at the end. Miss Faye.
Oh, this is my English teacher. F-A-Y. Miss Faye, you're a great teacher.
Mr. Scripshock's last name.
S-K-R-I-P-S-H-O-C-K. Scriptshock.
S-C-R-I-P. S-H-A-W-K.
Mr. Fazulio's last name.
F-E-Z-Z-E-U-L-I-G-O.
Spell Mr. Cipriani's last name.
You got that, my boy.
Mr. Fazulio's last name.
F-A-Z-L-O-U-I-A.
Close.
Mr. WVHS was crowned this week. Nick Bollendorf recaps the event. A science teacher is now an author. Warrior Update has more.
Waubonsie Valley's Carl Armstrong is science teacher turned author with his first published book, They Left One Tree.
The explicit story is the story of the main character, Jack, and he goes through a very difficult 3 months of his life. And along the way he goes on an epic journey that no one has done for centuries. But layered directly underneath that is this idea of where are we going as a species for the next half millennium? Because the story takes place 500 years from now. What does a future look like 500 years after the climate change that we've all been living through and we will all continue to live through? I've had a good number of students read it. It's up in the library and a bunch of the students have checked it out, and they all have liked the story a lot. They've all found meaning there. They've all enjoyed reading through it. They come to me with questions about it, like some of the minutia that I put in the story there, and so they're invested in it. And that's a good feeling, because with all writing, you put some of yourself into what you're writing, and so it's not a part of yourself that you put on display in the classroom or other parts of your life. And so it's this very vulnerable portion that all authors kind of experience. And so that's really good feedback for me, and I'm glad they're liking it, because it shows kind of what we teach in the classroom, but it looks at it from a totally different angle, a fictionalized lens.
In addition, the book's cover was designed by art teacher Molly Bozarth. The book received honorable mention for the Nationwide Prism Prize for Climate Literature.
It's a story that no one else is telling. You know, I've been reading science fiction my whole life, and I'd never seen a story like this. There's nothing out there that I found, at least, that tells this story.
They Left One Tree is available at Enderson's Bookshop in Naperville and Barnes & Noble. For Warrior Update, I'm Sophia Kroll.
This week was Respect Week at Waubonsie Valley. Bryn Drews has this montage.
I see a few things differently. In a world where you can be anything, I'll be kind to you. Could you be kind to me?
That's all for Warrior Update. I'm Leah Tubbs. Thanks for watching. Mr. WVHS was crowned this week. Nick Bollendorf Spelling them is even harder. Okay. Youth and Government. I said youth. Was Respect Week at Waubonsie Valley. Bryn Drews.